This contagion we call coronavirus is unsettling us and taking us from our familiar ways, bringing about uncertainty, isolation, tremendous pain and suffering, especially among the most vulnerable among us. In a previous talk, now available publicly on YouTube, I suggested how these three features of our current situation can be taken as turning words. This is a term derived from the Zen tradition that indicates an occasion for a turnaround, a transformative moment that can change the way we see the world, the way we see ourselves, the way we see reality as a whole. Through spiritual practice, uncertainty can turn into the solid experience of just this, bringing forth inner peace and tranquility. Isolation can be turned into an experience of going deep within our inner selves and finding therein a connectedness and solidarity with all living beings throughout the world and throughout the universe, throughout time and space. The pain and suffering being heaped upon us, especially upon the more vulnerable, can open our hearts and unleash the power of compassion, a stance of suffering with, and in being able to bear that suffering of one another, we are empowered to give ourselves as a gift back to the world, to help in alleviating that pain and suffering, even a little, in the best way we can. Here, I would like to suggest that the key to making this crucial turn, this turnaround, is the breath. We all know that breathing is a basic function of all living beings, whether plant or animal. But we humans may go about our business from day to day, taking that for granted, and not truly realize the significance, the immense power of this breath. There are moments when we feel overtaken by our hectic pace of life and find it necessary to catch our breath so we can get our bearings again. There, in using that term, catch our breath, we indicate that understanding that we need to recover and to reconnect with this power that holds us and connects us with the rest of the universe, assuring us that we are held, we are connected with the source of life. Or perhaps it's better to say, let the breath catch up with us. Let us keep ourselves connected to that reality that is bigger than us. Let us just take that for now and just breathe together. Take a deep breath in and out. And once more, breathe in and breathe out. Receive this gift of life. And in breathing out, let ourselves go with that outflow of the breath, giving back ourselves to the world. Receiving this gift of life, giving it back with gratitude. Each breath is just that, an exchange of life, receiving and giving back. I would like to suggest this simple spiritual practice of taking a deep breath and being aware, as we do at odd times during the day, whenever it comes to us, that we need to do so. We go about our daily chores, take our meals, wash up, write an email, drive a car, care for the kids, wait in line at the grocery store. In all of these ordinary moments, we are given an opportunity to just come back to the breath. And in this way, as we are able to take a breath or two or three, we are able to bring our busy minds back to the here and now. And in doing so, we are reconnected with our entire body, with our entire being, and with the entire universe, if we're able to see through that moment that's happening right there in front of us. It enables us to appreciate the gift of this very moment in all that this entails. Hey, here I am, alive, breathing, and be able to relish the moment just as it is, in freshness. I may be in pain due to an injury, or I may be in a hospital bed, or I may be brokenhearted because of something that happened in a relationship. Those are moments when the breath beckons us to come home to itself and find comfort. Breathe in, take in this gift of new life, and breathe out. Let the pain, let the sorrow, let the heartache subside with the out breath, and find solace, peace, acceptance, right here, right now. We allow the breath to take over this worried, fearful, hurting, self-centered little mind of mine and bring it to a different level of being, turning it around. Into what? If I may dare to say, into a wounded healer, capable of opening one's heart to bear the wounds of others, having known what it is to be wounded oneself. I remember when I was a little child running around our backyard in my hometown in the Philippines, and once I slipped, fell to the ground, hurting myself with a gash on my knee. My mother, who was nearby, saw me and rushed to my side and bent down and blew a gentle breath or two on my wounded knee to assuage its pain. She took me in, washed the wound with a sanitizer, and that caused a stinging pain for a while. But again, she blew gently a few times into the gash that was causing the pain. That was comforting. And that is what the breath can do for us. Give us comfort. Give us relief in the midst of our pain and suffering. This is the breath that we turn to with renewed appreciation as we live through this uncertainty, this isolation, this pain and suffering of our time. Next comes the invitation to be intentional in giving time in our day-to-day lives, just to be still and open ourselves to this healing power of the breath, even with a few minutes a day for starters. We begin by finding a posture conducive to stillness, preferably seated on a chair or on a suitable cushion, with back straight, keeping our eyes slightly open. We then take each breath with full attention, breathing in, breathing out, slowly, not forcing it, not pushing it, just letting it come naturally. Breathing in and breathing out, going with a natural rhythm. And we let the mind simply rest in the present moment with each breath. Right now, right here. Take 5 minutes a day at first. And once you get used to this, extend it to 10 minutes and more as your heart beckons. And make it regular, habitual. This is a basic and common feature and format of different kinds of meditative and contemplative practice found in many different religious traditions. But it may also be taken up by anyone without any religious belief system. All one needs is a trusting heart that there is something much bigger than what I can capture with my senses in this mysterious universe of ours. What happens then if we allow ourselves this time in our day-to-day lives to simply entrust ourselves to the breath in this intentional and focused way? We may notice something happening in us. We tend to feel less hectic, less agitated. We are more able to go about our tasks with a deeper sense of peace and equanimity. And people around us tend to notice, perhaps more than we ourselves do. We can even taste our food better. We can find little joys and surprises in the little things that happen in day-to-day life. We can smell the flowers along the wayside. And our hearts also tend to be a little more open to those around us, open to welcoming others into our hearts. Our hearts are opened up to be able to see and feel the pain and suffering of others around us as our very own. This is the unleashing of the power of compassion in us, the capacity to suffer with. And in doing so, we become less preoccupied with our little egoic projects, my own little needs and wants and preferences, and become more disposed to wanting to help in alleviating the pain and suffering of others. Better disposed to give myself back to this wounded world as an agent of healing, even in my little fumbling ways. If more and more of us are able to experience this turning point in our lives, as we allow ourselves to be caught by this breath and be immersed in it and be transformed by it, as more and more of us make this gradual but world-changing turn from a life of self-centered preoccupation and isolation to one of inner peace and equanimity and solidarity, with a heart of compassion open to the world. Indeed, what a different world this would be. What a wonderful world this would be. It may not come in a day, but as we welcome each day as a new opportunity to live no longer in that self-preoccupied way, but in a way that is centered on this healing breath, little by little we may see a new world in the making. Each of us can participate in bringing about this new world, beginning with our little circles of concern, our little circles of love, and widening this to include the entire earth, the entire universe. May you be well, may you be safe.